everybody, and welcome back. I'm very happy to announce that Serena is back with us at Weird Mythic Podcast. Yay!
Oh my gosh,
I
yay.
missed you.
I missed you too, and I'm so sad. Because I miss Jason. He's awesome to talk to, and I was like, I had the worst FOMO.
Well, I missed you helping me talk because I had to what do we say next?
Oh, that's so
Like,
funny.
Yeah.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it sounded really, really good. You guys did awesome, and it was super easy to edit. So
good.
Yeah.
That's good. I know I sent you like 4 different ways that I recorded it just in case.
I had to listen to like the Zoom way because I had to figure out where, because he started his recording way before you did, way before. So I'm like, let me figure out where to cut this all out.
Shit.
Yeah, but I have good news.
Yes, what is your good news?
I'm recording from my new house.
What? Finally.
I know. It's only been what, 7 months?
Only 7 months. You're not recording in your car anymore.
Oh my gosh, that was a traumatizing experience.
First of cat.
And then the neighbors moved. They just moved, and that was their cat. And I'm really sad because she's an awesome cat. She scared the shit out of me though. It was like awesome her little cat, peace offering. She's like, goodbye, here you go.
I'm going to scare you real quick, and then I guess I'll leave.
And then dip out the next day. I was like, wow.
For real. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Louis, you know how I told you how he had his little eye injury, right?
Yes.
Well, so you know I used to call him King Louis. He is now Lazy-Eyed Louis because even though his eye is totally fine now, it just seems a little bit lazy, and it's hilarious. Now he'll look at you. You'll legit see his right eye slowly get lazy and close on you. It is so funny.
He has so much personality. It's perfect for him.
It really is. I'm like, he just looks more pissed off now.
King Louis with a lazy eye. That's so funny.
Yep. Yeah, Lazy-Eyed King Louis. Yeah.
Lazy-Eye Louis. Oh my god.
I know, right?
That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm excited to be back, you guys.
I am excited to have you back because it was so weird, you guys. I didn't talk to Serena for almost 2 weeks because the homegirl was sick, and then she couldn't record because she was sick. And I'm
oh my gosh,
gotta hear your voice.
Yeah, you can still kind of tell that my voice is like coming back, but oh my god, I got I had never gotten a steroid shot before. That shit hurts.
Yeah, what was it like? In your arm? Where is it?
Yeah, it was like in the arm, like where you normally get a shot, right? But it just, you could feel everything going through. I'm like, did they accidentally like give you the COVID shot or something? Like my whole arm felt like somebody like dead armed me like over and over again. Yeah, it was not, I don't know if I just like didn't react to it well. I don't react to like vaccines well. I always get some kind of issues from them. So, yeah, it was funny. Fun.
So,
it was fun.
you're gonna be that percentage that always has the odd and horrible side effects. I'm the total opposite because anytime I get like a shot or I take medicine or they're like, these could be what you have, but this is how it's supposed to work. It always works perfectly for me. I never have side effects ever.
I get every side effect and then like they find more because of it.
Oh shit. No, I'm always like, no, I'm perfectly cool. They're like, you're not having this, or this. I'm like, no, I'm good. It's working. I'm healed.
Oh goodness. All right. Well, today is going to be a fun episode. We are going to be talking about cryptids, everyone's favorite topic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I know it's my favorite topic.
I love it just because how many cryptids are out there? So many. So we always get to learn something new. I fucking love it.
I know. I'm just waiting for the day when we choose the same one. Because we don't tell each other what we're going to do. Mm-hmm. And I actually was going to go. Yeah. And I actually was going to go in a completely different direction this time. And I wasn't even going to talk about a cryptid. But I decided I'll save that for next week. So.
All right, cool. Awesome. Well, I'm really glad that you're like in your house recording because you kept asking me the last couple episodes, is your cryptid scary? Is it going to scare me? Is it creepy? Well, this week mine is creepy. So I'm glad that you're in your house.
Let's talk about what's happening in August before we get started.
All right, August, I am going to be making a trip down to Dallas to see Serena because we are going to be at the True Crime Festival. Yes, the True Crime Podcast. Exactly, the festival. We're all going to be there.
And Jason will be there too. I know you guys talked about it last time. He's actually how I found out about the festival. So shout out to you, Jason.
Yes,
and he's
Jason.
what is he at right now? CrimeCon, right? Or is that later? He's
Something
at some.
like that,
he's
yeah.
at something right now. The one in Vegas, whatever the one in Vegas is, he's there now.
He's the one who's dressed up in like Santa and Christmas stuff, so he shouldn't be too hard to miss, guys.
Yeah. So everyone go tell him we said hi.
Yes, everyone go bug him.
All right. Well, you want to go ahead and go first this week because I missed hearing you talk. So.
Okay. Well, and I'm really good at it. I can talk for a long time, so let's get into it. All right. Well, I am going to be talking about the Rake. Have you heard of the Rake, Serena?
Yes, I have. Oh my gosh.
I heard of the Rake years ago because it was like on creepypastas, and there was a few other places that I found it. Like, I watched the movie Descent, and that's what the creatures were based off of. Like, I had some inspiration from the crawlers and the Rake, and yeah, so let me go ahead and get into it.
That is just a side note. That is one of my like top 5 scariest movies.
Dude, The Descent is such a good movie. Everyone can actually put us on pause and just go watch it right now.
Do you keep telling people that? Finish the episode first and then give us a rating and then go watch it.
No. Go watch it so you know what the hell I'm talking about and then come back and enjoy the show. Awesome movie, The Descent. But The Rake, let me give a little bit of description on what this cryptid or what this creature looks like. They are always described as being very tall, like 8 foot plus, but much taller than normal human height, whatever that would be. And they're also very thin and almost sickly looking. All of the sightings that I found were always, it looked like it was sick and super skinny. And all I can imagine is like the Descent and how like their stomachs were always like a little bit sucked in and they kind of hunched forward when they would like crawl around and shit. So, very tall, thin, sickly looking. They've been known to have either very deep, dark eyes or they're like deep and glowing eyes. So there's a little bit of different, versions there. They have absolutely no hair on them, like nothing on their head, no body hair that can be seen. They're very pale and white. So not like, it makes me think of somebody who's very thin and hasn't seen the sun in a very long time.
So me before I gained 20 pounds.
Oh gosh, shut up. No. But hey, you said that you've lost some weight since working out, and I gotta give you kudos for that.
Oh my gosh, I lost 10 pounds. I'm so happy.
Whoop, whoop, that's right. So you do not look like the Rake, though, so shut up.
Not yet. I'm gonna get back there, though. I'm just kidding.
No. As long as you don't start running on all fours, I think we're good.
And shave all my hair.
Don't shave your hair. Like, no. So the Rake also always runs on all fours. And anybody who's come into some type of contact with it, whether that be just seeing it for a split second or actually having it run up to your car, like a lot of the sightings have, they get an extremely bad feeling of just being flat out scared and paranoid. All of them say that they felt like a weird paranoia when they would see it. I did find 1 or 2 sightings that they actually heard that this creature has a very high-pitched scream or screech.
I fucking hate that.
There was just a couple of those, so I'm not sure if it was just their individual sightings of the Rake or if the Rake is known to have a high-pitched scream. So a little bit of detail there. The Rake is also considered to be Canada's night crawlers or just the Canada crawler. But let's get into like how the Rake really came out. So back in 2005, there was a 4chan thread about the rake.
Gosh, I forgot about 4chan.
I know, right? I was like, oh yeah, that's like, that got me back into creepypastas too. And then I just went down a little rabbit hole that I didn't need to go down. But, so 4chan, that was one of the first places that people started seeing the rake, which 4chan is more of a fictional site. It's more of people writing about, things that they've made up in their mind, their own short stories about something creepy. But there has been sightings of the rake before 2005 and after. So, something that I was wondering when I was doing this research was, did we actually will this creature into existence? Or is it just kind of by coincidence that there has been sightings before and after 2005 of something that looks very much like the rake? So definitely need some feedback on that. So listeners, help us out. Let me know what you think. So I'm going to get into sightings that are more recent, and then I'm actually going to go back in time before 2005 about some sightings as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to start in 2018, where there is this man who is, he lives in Canada. This guy in Canada, his name is Don Herbert. He was driving home on the Hay River Highway, driving south exactly on the Hay River Highway, when he started to see this pale figure kind of emerge from the forest. So think about it, guys. He's on the highway. He's probably booking it going at least 65, 75, 85, right? And he starts to see this figure emerge from the forest. It's very grayish white, he said, and it was definitely hairless and had a very small head and no ears that he could see. But he said it wasn't exactly like a humanoid head. He said that it was more like a beak-like mouth. So that's pretty creepy. If it's humanoid but has a beak, kind of creeps me out a little bit.
Yeah.
And its legs, he said, were long and spindly. And I just don't like that at all.
I don't even like the word.
I know, so long, spindly legs.
Reminds me of a spider. Okay, I'm picturing Voldemort with a beak and spider legs. I think
that's a great description.
That's what's going through my head.
So, he did notice, whatever Don saw coming out from the woods and the forest, it seemed to have noticed him and his car. And it actually showed Don its teeth and then crouched on the side of the road as Don is getting closer. And as Don got closer to this creature that he saw, it leapt at his truck and then started to run beside him on the truck. Don steps on the gas and starts to book it out of the area, and I guess the creature continued to run behind him before it started to slow down and stay behind the truck.
I'm crying right now. You just unlocked a fear, I think.
Oh no,
oh my
I'm
God.
sorry.
That is so terrifying. That's okay, first of all, I always, when I'm driving down, a dirt road at night, it happens a lot now that I live in Texas, okay, let me tell you. I always get, a thought in my head where I'm what if I just, looked over and something was, running at the same pace as me? That is, already a fear, and then you describe the creature. I fucking can't right now. That's a lot.
Serena's leaving.
That's a lot to, take in.
Oh, welcome back.
God, what did I do? Okay, continue.
All right, so Don, as I said, booked it out of there as fast as he could and ended up losing whatever the hell he saw that was running next to his truck. He immediately thought it was some sort of demon, and unlike some people, Don got a little curious once he started getting a little farther away. He's, first of all, he thought it was a demon, but then thought twice and was like, I really want to go see what the hell that thing was.
Why?
So a couple days after he had that encounter, he was taking the trash out, and, obviously he's at home. So he's walking the trash out, putting it on the curb to be picked up the next day. and he was kind of scanning the tree line, and the way that like it seems to be described, his house is in a rural area, and there doesn't seem to be anybody living across the street because it's just like the woods and the forest across the street. So he's scanning the tree line, taking the trash out, but he just kept looking at the tree line. And he kept getting paranoid. He was so paranoid, he didn't want to take his eyes off of the tree line and started to walk backwards back into his house. He was so paranoid.
Ooh.
Did not see anything, but he just had that weird feeling and he couldn't shake it. He wanted to just forget about it. According to him, he really wanted to just forget about the whole encounter, but he just couldn't. He went back inside and he just could not stop thinking about it. He continued to think about seeing this creature for the next 2 weeks before he told any of like his coworkers and loved ones. Oh, so, yeah, he waited 2 weeks. I would be telling people immediately.
Yep.
So, within those 2 weeks, he started to just kind of Google and see if anybody else has seen a creature, anything remotely to what he happened to see. He did find out that, you know, there was something creepy, but he couldn't find exactly what he was looking for on Google. And he started to think that maybe he hallucinated something, or maybe he happened to see a new species of animal. This was really getting to dude. So he ended up talking to a lot of the First Nation people in that area. He started talking to the Annie, I'm going to butcher this and cannot pronounce it, guys, but it's Nahanni. So he started just kind of talking to them and wanted to learn more about the folklore. And apparently they didn't have a whole lot given to him. Like, this is what we would consider it in our folklore. But there was some other sightings of interesting, pale, hairless creatures that they're like, yeah, that we've had sightings of that before. Very tall humanoid creatures, but nothing to say that it was going to attack or it was malicious in any way. So Don, who was also kind of an outdoorsy guy, that's why he lives out in a rural area, he started to not really go outside a whole lot. He was so paranoid after seeing this creature, and he happened to be with one of his friends who I just have the name Tim. I don't have a last name. So one day, Tim and Don were outside. They were riding around in their truck, and Tim went to go drop Don off at his home, which was about 2 minutes from his own house. And Don told Tim, hey, let's go and see if we can't find that creature that I was telling you about a few weeks ago. Is it okay if we go ahead and drive by that area? So they did. Tim took Don over there and they went to the area. They started to do like some filming, and Don was kind of doing like this commentary, like, this is what I saw. This was the area I was in. They're walking along the side of the highway, and they actually saw some weird tracks off the side of the highway where Don had seen that creature. So it is all on video what these tracks are and what they look like. It was during the day when they went and saw those tracks, but they ended up going home afterwards. The next morning, Don went back out to that spot, and he didn't see any other footprints or nothing like that, but he started to record and just walk around the area. He started doing this for a week, going to the area, filming it, seeing if he can't find anything. He finally found more tracks, though. Ugh. Yeah, and he couldn't place what these tracks were. And I know that in some of the articles I read of people who looked into this video footage, that it looked like it could have been like a mongoose or something. But they couldn't really tell because the tracks were a little old and it was on video, so it was a little hard. Don really couldn't find anything else in that area. He kept going back. He even set up trail cams. He couldn't find anything after the incident that he saw. But he did get a photo a year later in 2019. Ooh. Yeah. It was in the background of one of his trail cams that he saw something there. But so the way that like trail cams work is they're either on a 24-hour, recording, or they'll turn on when there's movement in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But it has to be big movement. Like if it's just the wind going by, it might not turn on, it might do. But majority of the time it's like if something solid is passing by and disturbs the, area that it's being recorded. So in this trail cam footage, you do see something kind of off in the distance. And if you look like between these two trees, there is something very tall there, but it moves so fast you can't tell what it is. But it definitely, to me, I looked at it multiple times. I can't tell if it's been doctored or not. Then again, I'm not a professional. It looks pretty like legit to me. It's a very tall person. I don't see any hair, and like you can kind of see the arms a little bit, and they are kind of spindly looking.
Ugh.
So who knows? But he definitely caught something a year later. I
Gross.
found I did find a Reddit poster who posted something about the rake. And he said that he saw a large, stocky, naked creature with white skin and, of course, no hair. But it had more of like a rubbery face and black eyes. He believes, like, and he put this in his little Reddit thing, that that's what he saw. Like, he was comparing it to what Don had in that photo. And he even said that the creature was also running at his car, but ended up disappearing back into the forest as well. So this was also in Canada. I didn't find if this was the same exact location that Don was in, but just by description from that Reddit poster, it seemed pretty legit.
I'm never going to Canada.
You'll go sometime. We gotta go.
I don't know.
There was another sighting in Northern Ontario from another Reddit poster in 2017. This guy and his dad were out canoeing, and when they were canoeing, they noticed that there was something kind of in the trees, like running real fast and then stopping, and then running real fast and then stopping again. And they saw like it was this weird naked humanoid creature, but its skin kind of looked like that of a birch tree. I'm like, that's creepy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a few different ones that related to like Dawn's story, and I found a lot more on Reddit, but I didn't want to just talk about the Reddit posters, but there's a lot, and a lot of them are from Canada in the same area. So, I mean, I
such
think
a good place to find stories, though, dude.
exactly, hella. Like, there was a lot, guys. I found some from 2015 and 2016 also. That all of them are like, it's this very tall creature, and it's thin, and it runs really fast, and it's always running on all fours. I did find one where this guy saw the creature for 2 weeks. It kept coming back to like where he was living, and it freaked him out so much that he had to post something. So it's another Reddit, and I think this was also in 2018 actually. But what he saw was a very skinny, pale humanoid creature that had to have been about 7 feet tall with a gaping mouth. And it jumped over his 5-foot fence like it was nothing. And it kept coming back for 2 weeks. There was at one time he thought that it was scratching at his home. And when he looked through the window is when he saw it jump over his back fence.
I'm gonna throw up.
So,
that is so scary.
I know. Those were all in Canada. I found a...
It better not be in Texas.
Not in Texas, but in Alabama.
Close enough.
So there's this woman, her name is Missy Sterling, and she is from Alabama. And she was also driving at night on a rural road, and as she was driving, she started to feel paranoid. She didn't even see the creature. She just immediately felt paranoid, then noticed after hearing a shriek that something was running along the side of her car.
Stop with that. God.
Oh, I'm so sorry. But like I said, she pretty much was like, it was on all fours. It was running away, and as it got like further away, she said it looked like it might have standed up on just the two back legs. But she said as it moved away from her, it was almost in like a jerky motion. Like, I don't know how else to explain it to be jerky. It's like glitchy almost as it ran from her. And she legit said she noped out of there and drove away crying.
That's
it scared
a demon,
her so much
right?
she did cry.
Yeah, I feel you, girl.
So that's just some of them. There is a video that I will have to send to Serena. It's
nope. Absolutely
it's also,
not. Am I
this
opening
one's from Canada, though. This is also from Canada, though, and it's actually this creature in the woods, and it looks like it's stalking this moose, and it is also doing this weird jerky movement. It's hella creepy.
No, I'm not gonna watch it.
You gotta watch it.
Okay, like send it to me during the day.
Okay, I will. I'll send it to you tomorrow. So those are all the most recent sightings. I wanted to go ahead and kind of go back in time now real quick before I continue talking about all the sightings from 2018, you guys. All right. So one of the first sightings of what we would consider called the rake or a crawler happened in 1691. There was this Englishman, and they just call him the Mariner. I don't know why. I couldn't find a specific name, but he was in North America in 1691 on a boat with all kinds of other people, and they believe this is probably the first sighting of the rake because it's actually in the logs of that specific boat that I sadly don't have the name of. But this is what is written in those logs. Quote, "He came to me in my sleep. From the foot of my bed, I felt a sensation. He took everything. We must return to England. We shall not return here again."
Yeah.
End of quote.
Preach.
So yeah, that was pretty creepy. But that's what everybody considers one of the first sightings of the rake.
Ugh.
And then there was another sighting in 1880 in a Spanish journal that was in Florida. And they believe that this could also be considered the rake or a crawler. And in this journal is said, quote, "I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I have experienced the greatest terror. I see his eyes when I close mine. They are hollow, black. They saw me and pierced me. His wet hand, I will not sleep." End quote.
I wonder if he considered it the greatest terror.
I wonder. He only said it 3 times.
Ew, wet hand, though.
Wet hand. Oh my gosh. And if anybody... Okay, so, a little bit of a side note. Have you seen Gerald's Game?
You already know the answer to that question.
No, you haven't. So, there's this little part in that movie, because she's tied to the bed for days, and she's getting dehydrated, and she hasn't eaten, and she wakes up to this freaky motherfucking creature that isn't exactly the rake because it has hair, but it is pale and it looks really gross. And it's licking her feet and it grosses me the fuck out. And it is so creepy. And then she screams and it takes off running out of her house. But it's like, it was licking her feet. Like, dude, all over her feet.
No,
and that's what that reminded me of.
Absolutely
no.
not.
It was fucking creepy.
I feel like you've talked about that specific scene in this podcast before.
I probably have because it creeped me out so much.
Yep, it was when we did Manananggal.
I think so because there was something about seeing girls at night and the long tongue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ew.
Dude. Oh my gosh. It's a great movie, by the way. Anyways, moving on. So I'm gonna go to 1964. It's a very sad story though, guys, so I do just want to put that out there. In 1964, a man who wrote down that he had seen this odd creature, actually, it's kind of said that because of this encounter, that this is why this man actually committed suicide. So There's the horrible thing, you guys. And he had many notes. He was a guy who took a lot of notes. And one of the notes that was found after he committed suicide, this is what it said, quote, "As I prepare to take my life, I feel it necessary to assuage," which I had to look that up, which means make an unpleasant feeling less intense. I feel it necessary to assuage any guilt or pain I have introduced through this act. It is not the fault of anyone other than him. For once I awoke and felt his presence, and once I awoke and saw his form. Once again I awoke and heard his voice and looked into his eyes. I cannot sleep without fear and of what I might next wake up to experience. I cannot ever wake. He then added, quote, "Dearest Lenny, I have prayed for you. He spoke your name," end quote.
That is so sad and so absolutely fucking terrifying.
It's so terrifying. And that was back in 1964. I don't know who Lenny is, but I hope she's okay, because damn. But as I said, this man wrote a lot of notes, and they kept seeing that there was this him and his and this creature, and he was tall, and he would appear at night, and it was just very creepy. But there was a lot of things that that guy like wrote a lot about what he was seeing, and sadly he did blame the rake or the crawler on him taking his own life.
That's really sad.
Yeah, there was also you're gonna hate me, Serena. In 2017,
dude, don't even
there
do
was
it.
These three girls in Austin, Texas. Who they believed they saw a man hunched over in the woods. They said it must have been a Wendigo, but one of the girls who saw the bush really moving Googled what she saw, and they came across videos of the rake, and they believe that it wasn't a Wendigo, it was a rake. So, and there's that.
I don't want it to be either one, to be honest with you.
But what was good, what was cool about that article, which it was just the legend and research of the rake. It was on bullbap.com. But in the comments section after that story of the girls in Austin, Texas in 2017, someone posted in 2019 they were going about 90 miles an hour heading to Tombstone, Arizona, when a tall white humanoid creature started following them in the other lane and keeping the same pace as the car. So,
dude.
Yep, I don't know, man.
Yeah, you really did unlock a new fear. Like, I did not know that was like something that I was genuinely scared of until this podcast.
And I now have a cryptid for you to think of when you have those fears. You're welcome.
This is going to be the last episode of Weird Mythic Podcast.
I told you it was going to be kind of creepy.
God.
So I'm going back to my question from earlier, guys. Did we will this creature into existence, or was it already here to begin with and we just happened to create more stories about it? Please let me know at weirdmythicpodcast@gmail.com.
It's just a creepypasta. I'm throwing that out into the universe right now.
It's just a creepypasta. We're done with it.
That's
so yeah,
scary.
I would really like to know everybody's opinions on that. I don't think I've actually ever talked about a cryptid that was on a 4chan or a creepypasta, but I figured it was a good change of pace, and I wanted to kind of talk about it because it was really fucking creepy. So there's the rake.
Question. Mm-hmm. You kept calling it a crawler, saying that name. Do you know the Fresno Nightcrawler? Did we do that one?
I don't think we've done the Fresno Nightcrawler. No, we have not.
Is that? Like, is that the same?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I had that same thought, but I think the the Fresno Nightcrawler isn't pale or hairless.
Okay. You're gonna have to do that one.
We'll have to do that one. I'll do that soon, guys. I'll have to cover the Fresno Nightcrawler, but I don't think it's a humanoid creature. I could be wrong, but I'll definitely have to do research now. I'll let you know.
Oh, goodness. I don't think mine's that scary, honestly. And I've done some scary ones before.
You have.
Ones that scared me out of research.
Some of your beginning ones are really creep me out.
Yeah.
When we first did some of our cryptid episodes, those ones are creepy. Like the Mononongal.
Yeah.
I still think about it.
Ugh, yeah, I know. I something always pops up that reminds me of that. Like, well, I'm going to be talking about the Michigan Dogman.
The Michigan Dogman. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't have a ton because like the sightings were really difficult to kind of find, but I do have a really cool song that everyone needs to go listen to. I'm gonna have it linked down below. And Naomi, I know you're going to get a freaking kick out of that one. So,
all right.
I almost sent it to you today, but I was like, no, let's wait.
I will listen to it as soon as we're done recording.
All right. So, the Michigan Dogman. The creature is described as being 7 foot tall. It has either blue eyes or amber eyes. They're like you. It's, mixed or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a canine-like animal with the torso of a man, stands on 2 legs, and it has a fearsome howl that sounds like a human scream.
Oh, creepy.
Awful. It's awful.
I don't like that.
No.
Even like the high-pitched scream or anything like that, I'm just not into.
Yeah, me neither. Not my thing. So according to legend, the Michigan Dogman appears in a 10-year cycle that falls on years ending in 7, which I thought was so cool for some reason. I just was like, wow.
Yeah,
but it also
I like the years that end in 7.
Yeah, but it also makes me think it's probably not real.
Okay,
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm skeptical on this one, so I'm going to let you guys decide. Sightings have been reported in several locations throughout Michigan. Primarily, it seems to be in like the northwestern. In 1987, the legend of the Michigan Dogman gained a lot of popularity when a radio DJ, Steve Cook, recorded a song about the creature and its sightings. And he actually like updated the song at one point to add like sightings in there. I'll talk a little bit about that in a second.
Okay.
The creature is said to have been stalking the area around the Manistee River since the days when the Ottawa tribes lived there, but it's like not documented. So the first alleged encounter occurred in 1887 in Wexford County when 2 lumberjacks saw a creature that they described as having a man's body and a dog's head. In 1937 in Paris, Michigan, Robert Fortney was attacked by 5 wild dogs. He said that one of the dogs walked on 2 legs.
No.
Yeah, creepy. Reports of similar creatures also came from Allegan County in the 1950s and in Manistee and Cross Village in 1967.
Okay, there's the 7.
Yeah. And then that DJ, Steve Cook, he released this song. Initially, he said it was released as an April Fool's prank and that he, like, made it up or whatever. In 1987, he said that he based the songs on myths and legends that he had heard from around North America and that he had actually never even heard of the Dogman before recording that song.
That's strange.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
After he played the song on air, he received tons and tons of calls from listeners who claimed that they had encountered a similar creature. And the weeks following, the song was actually like #1 requested song on the radio for like a long time.
Oh shit.
And I think I was reading on like the YouTube comments of that video that like the song was playing that people were saying like, oh, like my town plays this every fall or whatever. Like I always look forward to hearing it on the radio every fall. And like, so it's still like a thing that they play on the radio.
Neat.
And yeah, over more than 100 reports were received of the creature's existence. So yeah, at one point he had updated the song to actually add people's like encounters or whatever in there. So if you like listen to the song and read the lyrics or whatever, you could get some of the sightings.
That's really cool. I like how he updated it to include sightings.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's catchy too. It's very like Johnny Cash vibes.
I like it. Okay.
In 1961, A night watchman was patrolling a manufacturing plant in Big Rapids, Michigan, when he saw a strange figure. At first, he thought it was a person, but then noticed that it had dog-like features. He pulled his gun out and was about to shoot, but then he remembered that he had his camera on him, and he actually pulled it out and took a picture. And the photos have not been analyzed or anything yet, so they're not sure, if it's real or whatever, but the photo's still out there. Mm-hmm. You can see it for yourself from 1961.
All right.
That is the Michigan Dogman. He is, I don't know. Is he creepy?
Yeah.
I feel like he's creepy, but like he doesn't seem like he's...
Like you didn't find any sightings of him attacking people?
Apart from the like, 5 dog guy? Yeah.
Huh.
So I don't know. Like, I think he's just, and I'm not from Michigan. I've never been to Michigan. But I think he's just like a story to tell.
Yeah, he definitely could be. What I really like about that legend, though, is when you said that it happens every 10 years and only on years that end in 7. I would almost say that's almost enough evidence to say that it's definitely some sort of real.
Yeah.
And if it only comes out every 10 years on a year that ends in 7, then you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say it's another dimension and he's getting through some sort of portal.
That only opens it's like Halloween Town. It only opens every...
Yes. Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
That's funny. I guess. I mean, what happens? Is there like a planet that we go around every 7 years or something?
Possibly. I don't know enough about planets and shit, man. I mean,
does something happen to the Earth every 7 years only? Like, let's see. Is there a scientific explanation for?
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. What is happening every 10 years for years that end in 7? What is there something that's happening in those years or something that leads up to those years maybe?
Let's take a trip to Michigan in 5 years and see.
Dude, we might as well. We got 5 years to plan it. I mean,
you think this podcast is still going to be going in 5 years? I hope so.
Oh, fuck yes.
I hope
I'm just going to put that out there. Yes, it will.
Yeah, so we're going to be like pushing 40, like doing our podcast.
Shut up. Pushing 40. No, we're going to be in mid-30s. Shut the hell up.
I'm down. Let's do it.
I mean, fuck it. Why not? And we'll have to go to one of the towns that has more sightings. I mean, why not?
Yeah, let's go straight to the, Manistee area. I feel like that's where the most sightings come from.
All right, we're going to go camp in that area, guys.
Oh, wait, hold on. Can we Airbnb it?
All right.
She said, let's go camp outside. See.
I'm like, we're gonna get up and close with this dog man, okay?
We happened to find a rake like there.
Fuck.
Michigan is close enough, so I don't know.
Serena's quickly changing her mind.
We'll talk about it in 5 years.
Exactly. But okay, so anytime that I think of a human body and then a type, like a dog head, I immediately think of Egyptian folklore because of how many of their gods were part human with a different type of head. I mean, I don't know. I just always go back to that for some reason. So, I mean, I don't know either. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's been, how long have we talked about, people trying to create human hybrids of something? If they've done it back in Egyptian times, in ancient Egypt, who's to say that there isn't some sort of creature or experiment that has happened to where that can happen? Why not? Yeah, it's freaking weird. And we've seen all kinds of different stories about these humanoid creatures, but then it has like a dog head or a cat head, or it looks like a man with bird wings. Like, I just think it's interesting, especially in Michigan. I don't know of any other cryptids that are in Michigan. Do you?
I don't know. I'll find out though.
But I know there's got to be more, but this is specific to Michigan. I just think that's kind of cool. Did you happen to find any like Native American folklore on it?
So there was that tribe, but doing more research on that, it's really hard to find. It's not documented like at all.
That's how it was with the Rake, too, when Don, the guy who saw it running against his car and kept wanting to do more research on it, when he was talking to the First Nation people there, it wasn't like, something they passed down all the time, but it's like in their folklore of something there, but it hasn't attacked anyone for them to be like, stay away from this area,
It almost reminds me of like skinwalkers or Wendigo, where they're like, don't even fucking talk about it type shit.
No, that's actually something that kept coming up in the research as people were saying, it's a Wendigo, it's a skinwalker.
Yeah.
And I'm like, maybe a Wendigo? Not so sure on this. I mean, it could be. You never know. It could just be forming into something that is in the collective human mind that scares us. Always the humanoid creatures that are tall and it has no hair. That is something that is very foreign to us and can scare us. Who's to say the Wendigo or Skinwalker isn't playing on that fear?
Yeah, exactly. It's so scary to me. This is easily one of the top 5 that we've covered so far. Like, easily.
Sweet.
So scary.
Oh, man.
Do something cute next week.
Let's hope you don't have nightmares. I guess I could try to find something cute. I do have one that I could cover that's more of a mystery, I guess.
Let's do it. Yeah. I am going to watch Step Brothers and fall asleep with my headphones in.
That's a great movie. You should definitely not have nightmares after
I know. That's
it.
like my go-to. Anytime I watch a scary movie, I always have to watch fall asleep to like a funny movie afterwards. And I don't fall asleep watching, like, it has to be pitch black when I go to sleep. That's how you know I'm scared, is when the TV's on.
Oh, girl.
Seriously.
Well, shit. Let's all hope that Serena has a great night's sleep.
Keep you guys posted. I'm going to make you edit this episode just so I don't have to hear it again.
Do it. Send me it. I'll do it.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Hell yes. I'm so glad that we're both on here now.
I know. We'll get Jason. We have to get Jason back on because that was, I had serious FOMO. It sounded like you guys were having a great time. And I was like, oh, man. Maybe we'll do something. Maybe we'll do something while we're at True Crime Podcast Festival with him and try to get something out.
That'd be tight. I'm so down. Yeah, we need to figure that out too.
Yep. And oh my gosh, that was fun. I really would love it. We both would love it if you guys could give us a rating on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Good Pods. Because we need more people to hear about our show and give us ideas on stuff to do.
Yeah, I'm always up for good suggestions, you guys. Like, if any sort of cryptid you would want us to, cover, or if there's just something real creepy that you want us to do research on, we'll definitely cover it. Just send that over to us at weirdmythicpodcast@gmail.com. But yes, please go wherever you get your podcast fix, rate, download, comment, whatever. Every little bit helps, and we can't do it without you guys.
I know, and then come hang out with me on Twitter. It's at Weird Mythic, and then Naomi on Instagram is Weird Mythic Podcast.
Yeah, and of course, go to our Facebook at Weird Mythic Podcast. Just go ahead and add us. Tell us, that we're awesome, and we'll go.
Lie to us a little bit. No. All right. Well, until next time.
Until next time, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Clap your hands and shake off the morning dew. I'm Amelia, and we're going away with the fairies. Fairies in folklore are one of the most popular topics, but did you realize fairies are also prevalent in modern media? Those old tales influence everything from tweets to movies. If you aren't seeing fairies everywhere, you probably aren't looking, or you need a stone with a hole in it. Those do help. So join me at Away with the Fairies, a new podcast delving into all things fairy. Follow on Twitter at Podcast Fairies and subscribe now.